Bandwidth for This Week in Startups provided by liquidweb.com.
Today's episode of This Week in Startups is brought to you by Squarespace. Use the code TWiST7 when signing up to save 10%. And by GoToMeeting. Sign up for GoToMeeting and use the promo code START for your free 30-day trial.
Today on This Week in Startups, we have the next YouTube 2.0. It's called YouNow, and it's amazing, and I'm very impressed so far with the progress. Stick with us. You're going to hear all about it.
That's what it's all about, man. They said money is the root of all evil. What? Funny how it feeds my people. Yeah. We ain't gonna live like equals until we get the money, spend the money, and defeat you. Yeah. Money is the root of all evil. What? Funny how it feeds my people. Yeah. We ain't gonna live like equals until we get the money, spend the money, and defeat you.
Hey everybody, it's me, Jason Calacanis, the host of This Week in Startups. What is this show about? It's about startup companies. It's about making a dent in the universe. It's about creating, not consuming. It's about just trying to push the human species forward a little bit. Trying to make something. Trying to be a samurai, not a rice picker. Trying to just get off the bench and get yourself in the game. And today on the program, we've got a great entrepreneur. Adi Sideman is here. And Adi has a great startup called YouNow. And YouNow is basically, well, we'll hear from him in a minute. But before we do that, I wanted to let you know that there is a back channel. There's a group of 300 insane fans. The show gets downloaded by 100,000 people, but the top 300 of them are on a private mailing list. And all we do all week is talk about, it's a Google group basically, an invite only. We talk about the show, we talk about being entrepreneurs, and we share tips and secrets. And it's like really like this great little community. And you just go to twistlist.co, and you can join for like $1 or $2 a month, or you can spend even more. And there's all kinds of benefits that come from that. And you're basically supporting the show. Independent media like this Week in Startups, is not easy to do. And we need your help. And we're now, 270 episodes in. It's been an incredible run. And we really need your support to keep that run going. And we do that through the support of whitelisted advertising. What is whitelisted advertising? I decided long ago I don't want to have to read an advertisement from somebody whose product I don't believe in. And my last sales guy, he was like, oh, there's an e-cigarette company, or oh, there's this, and it's like, I just don't believe in that company. I can't really get on here and read an advertisement for a company I don't personally use. It's meaningless. You might as well just cut to commercial. But instead, we made a list of the top 10, 20 products I use on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, and we contacted them. And one of those great companies is GoToMeeting. GoToMeeting. I'll never get that right, not this lifetime. GoToMeeting. I use GoToMeeting every week, multiple times a week. My team uses it. We pay for it. Why do we pay for it? Because it works flawlessly. HD faces, screen sharing, meetings start on time with just a click of a link. And you don't need to try to find people's handles and have it crap out on you like these other free services. I cannot tell you how amateurish it looks when you're talking to an angel investor or a venture capitalist or a business partner or a potential employee, or doing a remote with your digital, with your work from home workforce, your virtual workforce. It's just a disaster to use these free services. They never work right. And GoToMeeting works flawlessly. You start every meeting easily and on time. And that's the key for me. I need these meetings to start on time. And what a great product. You can try it free by using the promo code START. And it works on everything, Mac, PC, iPads, all that stuff. And there's a lot of great features, like being able to share the screen, or let you take control of my screen, or switch from one person's screen to another, or have beautiful HD video of everybody, a chat room, logging everything. It's just a great, well done product, and I'm really glad that they are supporting the show. You use it, right?
It's an awesome product.
You're a paid customer, literally?
I'm a paid customer. I pay $49 a month, and I don't regret it.
Yeah,
perfect.
And how long have you been using it?
About 6-7 months.
Yeah, it's just rock solid.
Yep.
Every meeting starts on time. As opposed to that free stuff where it's like, it never starts on time. People have the wrong browser. They support every browser, every time, every platform. It works flawlessly. Thank you at GoToMeeting. And if you want to thank GoToMeeting, just say thank you at GoToMeeting on your account. And just go, please, start a trial. I mean, that's all I'm asking you to do is try. It's a 30-day free trial. You can cancel if you don't like it. Go use the promo code START. Thank you. So Adi, tell me, what is the mission of YouNow? Why did you build this company?
Sure. Well, the internet has done an amazing job in democratizing auctions and advertising and a million other things, buying tickets online, et cetera, et cetera.
Sure.
And when we look at the space of social television, what we're seeing is a lot of functionality using the second screen applications, allowing you to chat with others who are watching, allowing you to vote on what's going on, allowing you to discover.
This is the category you said, second screen.
Second screen apps.
What are the best example of second screen apps? Because and what percentage of people are even coming close to doing this right now?
You know what? I look at second screen apps, and this is very subjective, as kind of a patch because,
Yeah.
you know, old media has so much invested in this linear programming on television, and they patch it with a second screen app that allows you to interact. That's great. What
What are there, though? What are the ones that you see out there? That
I think there's like Into Now,
Into Now, which is a Yahoo one.
Yep, and that allows you to chat with others who are watching the same program on live
Right.
television. 106 in Park has a great app that allows you to vote on what's going on the
really?
live program.
What is 106?
106 in Park? It's like a BET countdown show.
Oh, I gotcha. Sure.
So you can vote which music video you want to see.
Yeah.
But there's a lot in that category.
Right, where it's just like I'm watching the show and I may get some secondary information. Sometimes it syncs with the audio, which is nice. And I guess a younger generation doesn't want to just sit there and passively watch
Passively
TV shows.
watch, so they do want to interact, and so
Right.
these applications that are on the market allows you to chat, vote, etc., or discover.
Lightly interact.
Yes, and what YouNow is all about, it allows consumers to actually participate, jump into the TV experience.
Got it.
So I too can be on that screen
Right.
right now.
So show me how that works. Yeah.
Great. So
Why don't we pull up Adi's computer? Oh, there we go. Perfect.
here we are on YouNow.com.
Oh, no, wait, that's the iPad app. Let's pull up his computer. But the iPhone app looks very nice. Is
Thank
his
you, yep.
computer available, guys? Zach? There we go.
Here we go. Great. So,
So what are we seeing here? Walk me through the interface. This is a guy talking in the middle.
this is a guy talking. He's on the show's channel, which has 400 people watching right now. It's
Okay.
one out of many channels. If the audience likes him, this is Brandon Murphy from the UK. If the audience likes him, they give him the green thumbs up, and he remains on air. If they don't like him, they give him the red thumbs down. And the next person in the queue, we see the people here waiting in line to broadcast. There's 27 of them right now that are waiting.
27 people are preparing what?
They are waiting to broadcast on this channel right now.
But what? What is he saying? What are they talking about? What makes a good show in this? I mean, it's like, obviously it's not scripted television. It's not a reality show.
Well, we can listen to him.
Yeah, but
5 minutes, really? That's cool. I know Alex is having awesome with them. No, they come on in a half an hour, they said on Twitter. Well, in fact, I want to find out now when they're coming on.
Well, what's exciting about
so it could be
this-
any topic.
Yes, it can be any topic, although we have, for example, a music channel where people play music. We have a pets channel where people show their pets. We have a cooking channel where people cook, et cetera, et cetera. But let's go back here just...
So the idea is he's going to entertain us in some way.
Correct. And the unique value proposition that the broadcasters get is, believe it or not, Jason, this is the only place on the planet today, both online and off, where a consumer can actually be in front of a significant audience.
Well, I mean, that's not true. I'm on Ustream all the time.
Yes, but
I'm on Ustream right now.
Okay, you are special and you're different than me. So I'm
Right.
a regular consumer because I don't have the Twitter
No, but a
followers.
regular consumer can just turn it on. I mean,
Hang on with me there,
Yeah.
because I've tried it. So
Yeah.
I went on Ustream, I went on Justin TV, I went on Bambuser, I went on all the services.
Right.
I broadcasted live, I let all my Facebook friends know, I tweeted it, and I called my mom, and the most I could get was 7 people watching me at the
I
same
get
time.
you. So what you're saying is, well, you're not saying not anybody can broadcast, but can't get an audience
Right. This is the only place in the world
where you can get a big audience.
where you can get an audience. That's
Got
right.
it.
You may have to wait a few minutes for it.
Got it.
And if you suck, you may be voted off within a minute or two.
So how does
but
it work
you're
with
getting
the
the
voting?
opportunity.
Because like if you get a thumbs up, does that give you 10 more seconds or something? And you vote down, you lose 10 seconds?
So every minute there's a new vote. So right now this guy's been on for 19 minutes. We see it right up here.
Wow. So he's got a streak going.
Yes.
And so he has to remain interesting.
Correct. And
And I
every
see right
minute
now he's
there's a vote.
16.5.
Yes, exactly. So in 45 seconds, there's going to be another tally. At that point, he's either going to get another minute or not. If he
Wow.
doesn't, then Taylor is going to go on. She is the next in line.
Got it. So what you're saying here is audience is built up. If you're fascinating, you get to keep the audience. If you're not, and so basically by putting all of the people in a competitive environment, you can aggregate more eyeballs.
Exactly right. And
That's an interesting point.
Our whole ecosystem is around building that scarcity, that economy where eyeballs and traffic is the main equity. Now, beyond that, there's another value proposition, which is I can subscribe to his YouTube channel right now. There he is. He has 1,300 subscribers. I just became his 1,301. I can follow him on Twitter right now.
Got it.
So imagine a kid who has worked very hard to get his first 100 or 200 Twitter subscribers. They come here, within 5 minutes, they get another 15 Twitter followers. They're hooked.
Right, so they consider it like $1 for each one of those followers or something like that is probably the value. And so if you're here, you're basically, you entertain folks, and in exchange, you're going to get some social cred and some social followers. And that has real value to these people.
Exactly. Now, the unique value proposition for the audience is they decide who's actually on air, because I can vote on him or not. They get to chat and interact with the user. And they get to use virtual gifts. So in this case, for example, I'm taking a photo and posting it to Twitter. In another example, I can give this guy bling. So bling will appear on this.
Bling is like a virtual currency or something?
Bling, here it is, Brandon. Let's see if he acknowledges it.
You're junior in America, sweet. Am I junior? I don't know. Adi! Thanks for the bling, man. That's pretty epic, you know? It's nice to get bling. You get 12 for England, yeah.
I can even
Wait, what does it mean, bling, though? What did you actually give him?
It's just respect.
Ah.
But it's an example of how I, as a consumer, am able to also influence what's going on visually.
Do I have to buy the bling from you to give it to
Yes,
him? How
yes.
much does bling cost?
Right now it's free. You earn it by broadcasting, by staying on the site, etc. But obviously, very soon we're going to introduce the economy. I can also...
A lot of this, like virtual coins, this comes from the webcam business, the adult webcam business, yes? Like this predates it by a couple of years, in all honesty.
The virtual gifts?
The virtual coins. Like that's something that was originally like a porn innovation, like years and years ago.
I trust you.
Yeah, like 5 or 6 years ago is when they started like having virtual coins and stuff like that in pornography, from what I understand.
Yeah.
You missed the shot. Thank you, Zach. Zach, you need to wake up. That's two slow things. When I give a reaction shot, you're supposed to be very quick.
But I want you to look at one more thing here that is associated with the
where'd the inspiration
status.
for this come from? Is this because, Josh Harris, I think we both know, he did
Yep.
Pseudo, and then he did Operator 11.
Yeah.
This feels a lot like Operator 11. I mean, I don't think YouTube and Facebook and the YouTube subscribers weren't a big component of that and really didn't exist all that much back then. But it has a lot of shades of that sort of competitive Operator 11-ness, doesn't it? Was that an inspiration?
So, first of all, Josh Harris has been an inspiration since the Pseudo days.
For me too.
Really an amazing vision.
Yep.
I missed Operator 11, so I was very busy building my previous company, Oddcast, but I have heard of it, and I have heard of it from Josh.
Yeah.
And, Josh has seen YouNow and gave me great feedback. So I'll tell you, the inspiration for me, a few years ago, I co-founded a company called K Solo Karaoke, which was the world's first online karaoke, which got sold to Fox MySpace. And that's where, folks could go on, sing, get rated, et cetera, et cetera. That was the germ, and that was 5-6 years ago. But at the time, you did not have the ability to, use your phone to broadcast because Wi-Fi was not there, live was not as pervasive, cameras were not everywhere.
Yeah, now you can't buy a laptop or an iPad or a tablet without a camera.
Exactly.
So, and broadband is here, and Wi-Fi is everywhere, and so is 4G and LTE. So all those things are seeming to come in your favor. Is this Flash-based or HTML5? Well, this is running on an iPhone. It can't be.
So that's a dedicated iPhone app, and this is Flash-based.
Got it. And the Flash and their streaming video service, it's pretty robust, huh? I mean, that's what a lot of these things have been built off of, the interactivity, the stability, I think the cost. It really is a revolution what they came up with, whatever it was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean,
Media Flash is amazing. HTML5 has a lot of advantages, but you do need much, much bigger teams in order to test it on all platforms, et cetera, et cetera. So Flash is really cross-platform, and it does the job.
And so now you have this iPhone app out. I'm showing it on an iPad here. Obviously, I can just zoom down, but this is really inspiring to me to be able to see somebody could take this out of their pocket on Wi-Fi and watch shows and then vote up and down.
And not only that, they can then click the button and broadcast right there. Yeah. And more than that, if somebody that I follow, let's say on Twitter or on Facebook or on YouNow, is broadcasting, I get an alert, tells me, Jenna is broadcasting right now, click here to watch. I can be on a bus, I can be in the back of a car. etc. And I can jump and broadcast right after her.
So I guess the business here is if you aggregate enough eyeballs, there would be some form of advertising. Have you gone to sponsors with this yet? Because I know Ustream and Justin, those businesses had a heck of a time getting advertising because anything other than like Remnick kind of advertising. Because let's face it, the quality was people on webcams, and advertisers don't want people on webcams.
Right.
They want a more professionally produced show.
So
You missed it again, Zach. Are you paying attention, Zach? When I make that look at the camera, that's like my joking look. It means you got to cut to me, like the timing. Come on, Zach.
I'm not looking forward to doing a lot of advertising. I am looking forward to doing a lot of virtual goods, virtual gifts, and elements that will enhance the gameplay. I'm looking at this as the business model is monetizing popularity. Just like
Monetizing popularity. Can you unpack that for me? That's a really cool concept. What does that mean, monetizing popularity?
Thank you. Just like the YouTubers can make money off putting up their videos on YouTube.
With advertising.
With advertising, of
Right.
course.
You have a different idea.
Yes. And just like Google AdWords allowed small businesses, the long tail, to generate revenue online, we live in a world in which folks from a very young age are building their personal brand. They want to be popular online, and the rewards for that don't really exist. Well, here on YouNow, the plan that we're implementing right now allows the audience to reward the broadcasters. So, for example, if I'm buying a rose or a drink or a camera or whatever it is, virtual good, and I give it to the broadcaster, let's say it cost me 30 cents, the broadcaster would get 15 cents of it. And so if I'm a young person, online.
So you take half of the virtual goods.
Correct.
That's a big number, isn't it? Shouldn't it be more like 30%?
Well, it's much better than taking 100% of the virtual goods like other companies are doing.
Who does that?
So almost everybody who
Is
does
Facebook
virtual
take
goods.
100%?
Anybody who sells virtual goods today takes as much as they can take.
Right.
They're not sharing it with the end users. So this is a very novel approach, which is if you get a gift that costs 30 cents, you actually get 15 cents in your account.
Oh, you're getting cash,
Yes.
not just a virtual gift. Right. So then people are actually giving money then. They're not giving like, you're not giving people like a gift card or something at the end of the month. You're actually giving them real money.
Right.
So that's a publishing platform in that way, like you're saying. And now who owns the IP? Like if I broadcast on here and I'm the next Justin Bieber, I own my content, right? Or do you own my content? Who owns the content?
So the user owns the content, and YouNow has a perpetual license to use the content in all media.
So if I perform a song, that means you could sell that song to somebody else or a record label, or you can just use it on your site?
I use it on our sites, on our YouTube channels, on the user's YouTube channels.
What
et
if I
cetera,
don't
et cetera.
want you to anymore? Can I rescind that license?
Yes, you could.
Okay. Because that seems to me like the issue here is I would be very concerned about joining a platform list. Obviously, this show's a little further down the line, but I would think intellectual property and who gets to own the performance is critical. So you're saying they own their performance, they give you a perpetual license, and at any point they can remove their content from the system.
Correct.
Wow, that seems like pretty fair to me, more than fair. And they don't have any fees associated with using the platform. It's just free to use.
Correct.
That's pretty awesome too.
However, if they wanted to purchase enhancers, like a virtual green screen, so they're broadcasting from Hawaii on the beach,
Right.
That's available.
You can start
too.
building those. Yeah, Ustream had some of those in there, like those kind of like pro tools, I guess. And what about buying exposure? So now I see that Tumblr is experimenting with, Facebook's experimenting with, and Quora is experimenting with using, in Quora's case, I think it's virtual currency. But in Facebook's case and in Tumblr's case, you can pay to have your content featured to a certain number of people. Can I pay to say, like, I want more people to see my show?
Exactly right, and it's a great question, Jason. So if we look at the screen of my
Adi.
laptop right now,
It is a great question.
you could see some of the...
Oh, hit the play button so we can see this, actually. So
here
we're
we
looking
go.
at your PowerPoint there. Okay. No, back to his computer. I just want to see the full screen. There you go. A market for airtime. Got it.
So, for example, if I'm doing good and I want my stuff to be highlighted or featured and get more eyeballs, I can earn or purchase, for example, a 10-minute private channel where I am highlighted at the top of the list, or a VIP pass so I don't have to wait in line, or a golden minute where nobody else can vote me off. And these gamification elements that we've introduced into live broadcasting are really at the heart of the YouNow economy.
So everybody could be like, I could be at 30-1 in terms of votes. Everybody wants me off, and I'm just like, I'm going to golden minute this, boom, and you get $1 and I get my extra minute.
For example, and you'll have to be at a certain level and a certain reputation in order to trigger that, because we don't want any Joe Schmo to get the extra minute. We want the quality to have...
Yeah, but it's kind of funny if they do. Just don't let them have 2 in a row. What does an extra minute cost in the system?
So it's not priced yet.
Not priced yet. That's a pretty good idea. And so how many channels are there? And is part of the magic here that you're limiting the number of channels? I see it looks like about 15 or so.
So right now we have about 20 channels.
Got it.
And yes, part of the magic is indeed to have that balance and tension between the airtime and the demand for the airtime.
Right.
And so we're introducing about 1 to 2 new channels a week right now. And we're also working on a system that will allow consumers to introduce a channel. Not anyone can introduce a channel. You have to have strong reputation and popularity on YouNow in order to introduce a channel. And you need the community to actually vote on allowing you to create that channel in order to show demand, et cetera. So all the governance of the system is with the community.
I think that's brilliant. And again, it reminds me a lot of the Operator 11 concepts, just really executed perfectly, really well done. And when we get back from commercial, I want to ask you a very difficult question, which is, your parent? You got kids?
No, not yet.
Not a parent. I just clicked on the girls. Looks like I don't know, maybe a 12 or 13-year-old girl. I want to talk about what age should people be allowed into systems like this? How do you manage that? And how do you protect kids in social systems? Because kids are obviously hypersocial. They obviously have access to all these tools. And mom and dad don't know what's going on. They're picking up Wi-Fi networks all over the place. And how do you protect kids in open chat systems like this when we get back from the commercial break? Yes. Who's next? Squarespace. Another delightful commercial for me to do. Squarespace. What an awesome piece of software as a service. I use it all the time, and I use it for, as you guys know, oh wow, look at these beautiful sites done by Squarespace. What is this? Stated Magazine. Oh, Brian Lear, I know him, the journalist. These beautiful websites I'm showing on my screen right now, and this one, statedmag.com, as in Stated Magazine, is just gorgeous, and it is running off of Squarespace, which has beautiful templates, which has professional-looking templates. You can build a gorgeous website like this instantly. I know because we have done it. Go to launch.co and see our website. I've been using Squarespace for years. It's an incredible value. I frankly think that they're charging too little for the service. You know, when you want to build a website, or you have friends or family who want to build a website, they come to you, right, Adi, and they're like, oh, Adi, you're on the internet. Can you build my website? And you're like, yeah, that's exactly what I want to do. Instead of building UI and raising money and trying to build a real sustainable business and making it work, I would like to build your website for your dry cleaner, Uncle Sam. It's unbelievable, right? Everybody's asking you like you're a doctor at Thanksgiving to help them with this stuff. It's ridiculous. And they really, what do you have? Like 2 options. You can hire a kid in high school, you know, for a couple of bucks an hour, and it comes out terrible. You can hire a professional designer and spend, you know, $20,000, and then every time you want to make a change, it costs $1,000 or $2,000. You can hire somebody you don't know on Craigslist, then they make something that looks somewhere in between for $3,000 or $4,000, and then what happens? You can't get in touch with the person. Nobody knows the FTP, or they hijack your site and demand more money to make changes that are seemingly very small, and they don't get back to you. Listen, I'm going through this right now. My wife is setting up a website for her smoothie business. And she's like, what should I use? What should I use? I was like, please, just get a Squarespace website. It will come out gorgeous, and then you don't have to bug me about fixing it for you or finding you designers and all this kind of great stuff. Spend thousands of dollars, spend nothing, and have garbage. Right in the middle, just spend like $10 a month, and you will get 20% off if you do a yearly plan, and then you get 10% off with the code TWiST7, TWiST7. I use the product. I fully endorse Squarespace. It is the most elegant, beautiful publishing platform ever created in the history of publishing platforms on the web. I kid you not. You can use a lot of open source stuff, and it's constantly breaking, constantly getting hacked, and constantly being updated, or you can use software as a service, which means it's in the cloud. It's one piece of software that's always up to date and always running perfectly, and these guys are making money, and they're really doing well, so they are investing for the future, and they keep adding feature after feature after feature, and I've been to their office. It's like 100 developers just sitting there pounding away, making this system perfect. And then they're giving it away for $5 or $10 a month. It's ridiculous. If you sign up for a year now, you get a free domain name. And that puts you like, it's literally like $5, $6, $7 a month or something. It's so cheap, but it's so amazing. That's the thing I can't get over. It's like buying a Mercedes-Benz for $1 a day. It's ridiculous. What a great product. Thank you, Squarespace, for making a beautiful product that's easy for me to use. And here's another gorgeous one, jbit.lu, jbit.lu. Look at this gorgeous website. Beautiful transitions, beautiful navigation. I wish I had a website that looked like that. I don't know what this company does. JBit Projects, International, this. Beautiful galleries. That's one of the things they're really good at. Gorgeous photography and galleries. They just look stunning on their service. Thank you, Squarespace. And if you want to thank Squarespace, just go there and sign up. Use the code TWiST7. Tell your friends and family when they need a website. Squarespace. I say beautiful website. You say Squarespace. I say Squarespace. You say beautiful website, affordable price. Thank you, Squarespace. And everybody thank @Squarespace on their Twitter, Facebook, Friendster, Rise, Bebo, 6 Degrees, Well account, whatever you got, What great guys. All right. So here I am. I'm on my iPad, and I clicked on the girls section. So there's a bunch of, looks like teenage girls talking, and you can pull up the iPad. And here we got, this, I don't know, this girl's maybe, who knows? You can't tell with girls. It's kind of hard. But maybe she's 12, maybe she's 15. She's probably a teenager. What's the minimum age to be on the service? And then how do you protect kids on the service?
Right.
It's obviously a big concern.
Absolutely. And from day one, we've been hyper vigilant about the reputation of the site. And that's why, if you notice on the top right corner on the website,
Yep.
you need to log in using your Facebook account.
Ah.
Not only that, and that's the only
And why
way
is
to
that
log in.
important? Why is that important?
Sure. We actually check that it's a real Facebook account with real friends, with real activity. We want users to bring in their real identity, and that's the only way they can get on.
So you can't have a pseudonym. You can't be just, I'm going to make up a fake. I mean, obviously anybody could really, if they wanted to do a ton of work, but you can get rid of 99% of the imposters by saying, how old is this Facebook account? How many reciprocal friendships does it have? It's a very savvy insider move to do that.
Thank you. Yes, and
above and beyond. I mean, the thing that gets me is a lot of people take the position, it's an open platform. That's the parents' job. You can do whatever you want, and the parents need to raise their kids properly.
Yep.
But you don't take that position.
Listen, we are in the live video space. We have to be vigilante, and we are.
Yeah.
Now, more than
Why is that? Why is it? Because people could do,
because
if a kid...
look what happened to Chat Roulette.
Right.
We've been very fortunate. We launched 7 months ago. We haven't had anybody.
No penis.
Nothing.
No random,
No
hit
shirt,
random and
no
see
nothing.
penises.
Now, and add to that the fact that the community polices itself because they vote stuff down that's inappropriate immediately within a minute.
Right.
And more than that, we also have volunteer moderators from the community who are literally on the site all the time and take out people from the chat, et cetera, if somebody says something inappropriate, et cetera.
Now, what about kids meeting each other, through the service? Can you protect against that, or is that just something where kids just need to have a good talking to by their parents? Just thinking even outside of your service, this idea that kids are going to be attracted to the service, so then predators might also be attracted to it. Chat rooms and forums, and this is really like a next generation chat room or forum because it's live video, and the person might say, yeah, I'm in this city or town, and here's my Twitter and my Facebook. So really, if a 12 or 13-year-old girl goes on here, a boy, and they start interacting with an audience, a lot of their social information is going to be shared already. That is really dangerous, isn't it?
Well, I'll tell you something. We've been very happy to see actual meetups of YouNowers all over the world getting together. And they email us. They say, oh, we're going to have a meetup in London or in San Diego. Can you send us some shirts, et cetera, et cetera? And then they send us photos.
Yeah. So they do it in a group, in a safe place.
Correct.
Yeah, I think parents really have to have this conversation with their kids now. I mean, if you're a parent out there, you really have this conversation. You have to tell your kids, there are people on the internet who will try to meet you through the internet to go do bad things, and you can never, ever, under any circumstance, no matter what the person says, ever meet anybody online without your parent being there, without approval. I mean, it's very dangerous, and we've seen this with Scout, the casual meetup app for kids that now has resulted in a couple of kids getting raped. So it's really front and center for me.
The main difference between an application like that and the other applications that you mentioned is this is a public broadcast.
Right. That's a private,
It's
and that one also has
a private one-on-one relationship. It is a one-to-many.
And they're disclosing your location and how many feet away from you are.
Exactly.
Which is kind of
does not happen here.
That's kind of insane. You would never add a feature like that. That's madness. to tell you where a 13-year-old girl or boy is, like it's 100 feet away from it. Crazy. So how is this business being received? Because I'm very curious as to, I absolutely guarantee, and it's pretty obvious that young kids love it, and even adults. What I'm getting at is, does the business community have any idea how big of an opportunity this is? I think this is a huge opportunity. I think what you're doing is very innovative, but I suspect that people who are in the investment community have seen like Ustream and Justin have moderate success, and they're the big winners, but it's still moderate. They've seen YouTube break out, but people really, the live video space has been, the social video space, let's face it, has been a dud so far. There's a lot of startups that have crashed and burned. I guess when they bring that up with you, what do you say? And do they bring that up with you? Are investors that savvy to just say straight up, like, the space has never worked, what's going to make it work?
Some people bring it up.
Yeah.
And I think that what's exciting is when you actually talk to really smart people like yourself, they get that this is a shift in dynamic.
Right.
This is not about personal broadcasting.
Yeah.
This is about changing the way that the television operates. The internet has democratized many things.
Yeah.
Television, the television experience is one of the things that it will democratize very soon, and this is what we're enabling it to do. If you think about, let me give you an example. Think about a reality show like Amazing Race. And I have here a slide, if we can cut to me.
By the way, what's the minimum age for a service like this?
We rely on Facebook, and so Facebook's minimum age is 14, and they take care of that for us.
Yeah.
But take Amazing Race, for example. Here is here's a reality show, a TV show that is open for 5 couples. They have to fly to LA. They have to interview. They go through 6 months. It's kind of a scavenger hunt. They have to climb a mountain. Whatever it is, they get challenges. Imagine an experience like that now open to the public. You click on your app. It recognizes that you're in LA. Gives you a challenge. In this case, eat the burger and giant burger. You go ahead, execute the challenge. The audience is voting on you. If you're successful,
Giant Burger's giving you $1 for everybody who comes in,
for example. And anybody who fulfills it gets another challenge, moves up in the ranking, etc. We just took something that was very limited in traditional TV, which was 5 couples, and we opened it up to the masses. This is part of the vision of YouNow, and in that sense, it's very, very different than what we've seen in personal broadcasting before.
I agree. What are the televisions? Have you started meeting with the television execs and stuff like that? Because they also seem to be, I don't want to say clueless about this stuff, but they generally have had bad experiences for the last 2 decades doing interactive TV. I mean, this whole category was interactive TV. Now it's sort of social TV. Is social the thing that makes, I believe social is something that makes us work, but can they even see that, or do they not get it? I mean, they must get it to a certain extent, because the reality TV stars are so popular on Twitter.
I'll tell you what I'm seeing. I'm seeing that they have a mandate from God and upstairs to figure out social television. They're seeing this. They're intrigued beyond belief. And then they have a very, very hard time executing, because everything takes a very long time if you're Viacom or Disney or anybody like that.
And how do they execute on this? It's like, how do you execute on somebody doing a 60-second improv, and trying to get it to 19 minutes. I mean, they're not used to that. They're used to having distribution where they produce something that's beautiful for $100,000 a minute, and then people are captivated by the shininess, and they have a distribution advantage, and that's it. Game over. They don't have to actually compete to maintain audience.
Right. Well,
not as much as this system would allow. Like, you're not going to get voted off and the show stops.
I'll tell you what.
The show might get canceled, but
I'll tell you how the smart ones are attempting to package it. They're saying, okay, everything is moving to crowdsourcing. We have a great crowdsourcing engine here. Let's build a show around it where the best stuff climbs to the top, and we'll show that on television.
Got it.
So that will be the weekly highlight, while in the rest of the week, every day, 24/7, people are vying to get on the TV channel.
Got it. So what's the hard part of this business? I mean, it seems like you're off to a good start. What's the thing that's keeping you up at night? What is the thing that concerns you? Like, wow, we really need to figure this out, or this is not going to work. And be honest, because that's the currency of the show. Don't give me like the stock PR thing. Give me the honest thing. Like, what is the thing that really keeps Adi up at night?
I'll tell you what, we still have to hone the gameplay in terms of growing your reputation and popularity on the site.
Right.
So the idea is the more reputation you have, the larger the audience you can command. So that's one.
And that's a lot of tweaking and just experimenting, right? You have to have the product in the market.
Yep, yeah, and we're doing it all the time, and there's a lot more work to be done there. The other thing is that we've noticed that people with more and more social following are coming to the site. So if 4 months ago I would be ecstatic when somebody with 10,000 YouTube subscribers would show up, now I'm starting to see people with 150,000 YouTube subscribers show up. The idea for us is to recognize their reputation and actually reward that reputation as well, even though it wasn't earned on YouNow, because those guys are influencers.
So you say you read the number of followers they have on YouTube and Twitter. So if I went on there, you'd be like, whoa, this guy's got some following.
Got some juice, let's move him to the top of the line.
Let's move him to the top of the line, right. And so you're going to draw those people, and that should be, a better thing. That makes sense. What else? You said you were about to say the second thing that keeps you up at night.
There's always scalability issues when you're a small company.
Right.
And so, right now we can support tens of thousands of concurrent users. We need to move that to hundreds of thousands.
Is this all in the cloud on Amazon or something?
This is all in the cloud. Yeah.
On Amazon or Azure or where you living?
It's on Amazon. It's on Wowza.
And what did you think of all the Amazon outages and stuff like that? Does that concern you as a CEO? Do you feel like if they're down 3 times a year, that's acceptable? Because you would be down 5 times a year if you're running your own, systems. Or does it feel like some spark in your head, like we got to have a contingency plan for Amazon because they're not stable enough?
I'll tell you, in the end of the day, the big social networks, and this is what we intend to be, move to their own centers. And so I think, lean startup mentality is to use what's available, and Amazon is great. It doesn't scare me that they're down once or twice a year, but eventually I'm going to need to scale in a more cost-efficient way.
Right, because it does get very expensive on Amazon to fire up these instances. It probably costs $5,000 or $3,000 for an instance when you can get your own server and be at $100 a month aggregate. And bandwidth, is bandwidth going to be an issue for this kind of a business? I mean, if you do succeed in having a show have 100,000 people watching it in HD, can you actually do that effectively, or does it just become so costly that it's going to break the model?
It's not. It's getting cheaper and cheaper, and even on Amazon, it's not that costly. So it's. So
what does it cost to have, like, let's say, have you calculated what it costs to have 10,000 people watching at a time per hour? Is it
I'll tell you right
couple of dollars?
Right now, we have 1 million sessions a month, and we're talking about something like $5,000 a month.
Right.
So that can scale, and when it starts, getting really high,
hundreds of millions of sessions.
By then, we would build our own solution that is much more cost efficient.
Right, because if you have your own dedicated 200 megabit line, you're not paying on a data basis, you're paying on a fixed cost basis.
Correct.
And that's something that most people don't realize. And I do that myself. It's like, why would you pay these people for bandwidth, as people consume it, when you have a fixed pipe and as much as you can fit through it is what happens. And so where's the company based?
Company's based in New York, Midtown.
Yeah. And how is Silicon Alley? I mean, I know Silicon Alley is exploding these days. Obviously, we knew of each other in the Silicon Alley Reporter days. It really is a whole different level now than it was in the 90s, isn't it?
Yeah,
magnitude bigger.
It's been wonderful to watch, and so many great people in New York have made a big difference, and we all know the names. And
Fred Wilson,
for example,
John Borthwick, Kevin Ryan.
And it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be in New York.
Yeah, difficult to get programmers. Are you building this all here? Do you have to, now that there's such competition from Tumblr and Square and Foursquare and everybody? Do you just do outsourced?
I've been very fortunate in the sense that the team that we work together has been together for many years with the other startups that we worked at. And it's friend bring a friend, and so it hasn't been a big challenge.
Yeah. We'll continue success with it. I think this is absolutely fantastic. I've been waiting for somebody to crack this. I thought Josh Harris might, and he took 2 swings at it. He had great success with the first one, moderate success with the second one. But I think that you're carrying on the legacy really well and really building off of it. It feels very innovative. The virtual currency, I think it's going to be tremendously successful, and I wanted to get you in here as soon as possible to really show how far it's come. I mean, the iPad app and the iPhone app, you can pull up the iPhone app one more time, which I'm assuming will be iPad eventually. Boyd, is that's his laptop. Yeah, there's the iPad app, or the iPhone app, I should say, but you'll be on iPad soon enough. This, to me, is the killer. I mean, this whole product could just be all mobile, right? I mean,
Totally. I think marrying video,
Yeah.
mobile, social,
Yeah.
and gaming.
Yeah.
This is exactly the play here, and
Yeah.
mobile is crucial.
and you could do location on a general basis.
We do that. City.
Yeah, so this is city, like this is Los Angeles, but this is not like Brentwood or Bel Air, like a very specific place. Well, continued success with it. How many months has it been in the market now, and how long has it taken you to get to this point?
It's been in the market for about 7 months.
Yeah,
And
wow.
yep.
So right now, what's the peak number of people you've had at a time on the service?
About 15,000.
Wow, that's great. Good
Yeah.
start. That reminds me of the early days of Ustream. That we get those kind of numbers. You know what kind of numbers they're getting at the max in terms of concurrence?
I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
I'll tell you that the more
Hundreds of
channels,
thousands, yeah.
the more channels we add, the more numbers we have,
Yeah.
and so we have a lot of control over our growth. And the most exciting numbers for us, Jason, is 40-minute session lengths
Wow.
for our users. Yeah. And
Why is that? Why is the session length so long?
It's addictive. I mean, you try, just go, not even as a broadcaster,
Right.
just as a user, you're starting to vote. You just want to have impact on what's going on.
Right, and everybody's game is being taken to another level. So if you're not being voted on, and that clock ticking down, you're like, I got to get interesting fast. I got to say something interesting. It's very much like, the Truman Show or some of these things. What was the other one with Arnold Schwarzenegger? Running Man. I mean, it's been all this dystopian or dark side of reality TV. What do you think is the the positive about this, and what do you think the sort of downside is on a sociological level? Have you given that much consideration? I mean, obviously the Truman Show was a meditation on this sort of fake life, and so was the Running Man, a sort of game shows gone wild, and reality television has really become kind of icky and brought society down. Does this bring society up or down, or do you not care? And how do you look at that issue?
Well, I'll tell you this. First of all, I don't know how much lower it can get.
Right.
And so
I think the Kardashians have proved pretty low.
one of the things that
Sorry, Kim.
One of the things that we're doing is we're building an engine where basically, anyone can participate in American Idol from home. They
Right.
don't need to go and stand in line in the sun among 30,000
Right.
people.
So it's certainly more efficient. But what about the race to the bottom in terms of behavior? Do I have to be incredibly salacious and insane and banging my head into the wall to get votes? Or how do you moderate against the race to the bottom?
We haven't seen that. What we
Sensationalism.
have seen is testimonials, and I'll pull up on the screen right now, from people who are telling us that it has
Wrong screen, guys. His screen, yeah.
that it has changed their lives,
Right.
that they have much more self-confidence now,
Ah.
that it allows them to try out their comedy skits,
Ah.
that it allows them to try out their new songs and get feedback.
Yeah.
And so we're seeing, a tremendous amount of positive feedback from an audience that otherwise may not have had access to this audience.
I think that's interesting. The currency of online video seems to be authenticity. I mean, that's what's worked at YouTube and on Ustream and shows like this. Like, people feel it's authentic and the person is really who they are and they have some skill. It does tend to break out. It doesn't necessarily have to be a race to the bottom. We'll continue success with it. It's I'm impressed. And this is a space I know somebody's going to crack it. And I thought Justin or Ustream might, but now I think they're just becoming service providers, and good service providers. It's not meant to be a dig, but I think they went after the enterprise space. And I really think if you guys can be patient with this, I think this is going to take years to build. But if you can be patient and really keep that quality up, boy, you could have something special here. So congratulations on that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you to our sponsors, GoToMeeting and to Squarespace. I couldn't do it without you guys. And if you want to thank them for supporting independent media, you can do that very easily by going thank you at GoToMeeting and thank you at Squarespace on your Twitter account, on your Google Plus account, on your Facebook account. That would really mean a lot to me, because when they see that, they're like, wow, Jason's got a cool audience that really appreciates us sponsoring the show. And make sure you follow at TWI Startups. That's our Twitter handle here. And subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/show/TWI YouTube.com/This Week in Startups. YouTube.com/show/This Week in Startups. And join the TWiST list, twistlist.co, yada, yada, yada. And we'll see you. Oh, and yeah, you can follow Adi on at YouNow, right?
Yep.
That's it. Follow at YouNow on Twitter and go to younow.com and play with it because it really is an interesting product. I played with it for an hour and I was wildly impressed. We'll see you next time on This Week in Startups.